Hey everyone, hope you are doing well and happy. So I was quite inactive in this platform, but the good news is I am back. Today we're going to start with another important topic from Indian polity. Till now I have discussed many important topics from Indian polity itself. If you haven't watch them all out. Uh, so in today's video, the topic that I'm going to cover that is federal system. So let's move towards our very first slide. Political scientists have classified governments into unitary and federal on the basis of the nature of relation between the national government and the regional government. So the very first paragraph itself is a preliminary note which talks about what federal system is, what is the meaning of federal system. And after finishing the preliminary note, then we will move into what our India is known as, whether it is federal or unitary in nature. The specific features of the federal and unitary governments are mentioned below in a comparative manner. Along with that, we are going to understand what are the characteristics of both of the system, both the federal and unitary, and it also has a comparison list. So the term federation is derived from a Latin word, it is feudus, mean which treaty or agreement. So from where this very word came from, that is feudus, which is a Latin word that's which means treaty or agreement. So while preparing any note, we should always start with introduction, then we should start with the historical background or evolution. So while writing that, we can add from where the word federal came from and its very meaning. So now let's move into what federal and unitary governments characteristics or features are. Dual government, that is national government and regional government. So this side is for federal system or federal government. So it talks about dual government. One is national government or the central government, the other one is regional government or also known as state government. And for unitary government, we have national government which may create regional government. So there is only one particular government is required, and that particular government may make more regional government. Then we have written constitution. So in federal system, a written constitution is a must. Whether in unitary system, a written constitution can be or maybe or may not be made. Then we have division of powers between the state and the central, because without the division there wouldn't be any federal system. But in unitary government, the division of power may exist, may not exist. Then we have the rigid supremacy of the constitution. So in federal system, the constitution is of the supreme, and in unitary government, the supremacy of the constitution may be there, may not be there. Then we have rigid constitution, and in comparison, we have it may rigid or it may not be rigid. That means it is a flexible. Then we have independent judiciary. Again, it may exist, it may not exist. Then we have bicameral legislature, and we have legislature may be bicameral or unicameral. Bicameral means two houses or two chambers would be there, and unicameral means only one house would be there. So these are the very definitions or definition of what federal system or what federal meaning is, and what are the characteristics of both unitary and federal system. A federation can be formed in two ways. A federation can be formed in two ways. One is by integration or by way of disintegration. The very meaning of integration is to take to add small parts to make it a whole, and disintegration means from a very, what do I say, cube itself we can take out some part, then we can make it another part. So in both ways we can do the what do I say, the federation can be formed. Then we have, in the first case, a number of military weak or economically backward states independent came together to form a big and strong union. This, for example, the US. In the second case, a big unitary state is converted into federation by granting autonomy to the provinces, promote regional interests. So basically, this talks about the countries how their federation forms. So basically, what happens? Many states come together and they create a union and they are separate. And the another form, a union is already made and they can make the states or the provinces. So this is basically how federation can be formed. The Constitution of India provides for a federal system of government. Now come India, what kind of system it follows? So it follows a federal system, but again there is a controversy in this topic whether our Indian Constitution is federal in nature or unitary in nature, or they are both, uh, they're in between the federal and unitary, or whether it's a quasi-federal nature. So while writing this kind of question, we need to write all the characteristics from both federal and unitary and why it's a combination of both. Then let's move towards federal features of the constitution. So we have already understood the comparison chart uh, of unitary and federal. Now we will, this book has given it in a detailed form. That first we have is dual polity. For example, two government will be there, one in central and one for the states. Then we have written constitution. A written constitution is a must for federal government. Then we have division of powers. Federal governments, federal system means basically the division of power between union and states. So uh, in order to create a federal system of government, division of power is a must, which is given in 7th schedule with the list, that is concurrent list, state list or union list, and it has concurrent list also, and it also residuary powers. Then we have supremacy of the constitution, that is the constitution is supreme. The union at its choice cannot, what do I say, cannot say that we will not follow the written statement written in the constitution, because the constitution is supreme, and whether you are a central government or you are a state government, you need to obey to the rules. Then we have rigid constitution. That means it is not easy to amend the constitution as per the wishes of the central. It is very rigid, and also it is flexible when the amendment is needed for greater good. Then we have independent judiciary. The judiciary is independent from the government, and the judiciary also gives a checks upon the state government and central government. So in any case, if the central government takes come up with a law which is not in alignment with the fundamental rights, then the judiciary can declare such law as void. Then we have bicameralism. The constitution provides for a bicameral legislature consisting of an upper house and a lower house. Bicameralism means basically two houses, one would be in union or central, the other for the state governments. So this is the very features of federal system of government. Then we have unitary features of the constitution, which is already written in the chart itself. Here it is given in an elaborative manner. That is strong center. All the powers have been vested in one particular organ, that is center. Now the center is all in on, and it has all the powers in it. It will decide whether to give powers to the state or not. States not indestructible. Unlike in other federation, in the states in India have no right to territorial integrity. The center, as per their wishes, can create new state or can decrease the area of the state, can also rename the states, but the state has no power to say that from tomorrow onwards we are going to operate on our own and we will not fall under India. We will do something of our own identity that they cannot do. That's why the statement has been written that states not indestructible. Next we have single constitution. So if we see or if we compare with another countries, we can see that the states and the union or the center has different set of constitution. But in India, we have only one constitution that is for both the center and the state, and that is a mandatory features of unitary constitution. Then we have flexibility of the constitution. The process of constitutional amendment, which is under Article 368, Part 20 talks about how amendment can be done to the constitution through majority, simple majority, and it's a simple plus special majority. So all this has been added, which will say how to amend the constitution. No equality of state representation. The states are given representation in the Rajya Sabha on the basis of the population, and the membership varies from 1 to 31. So based on the population of the states, the presentation of the people would be selected. That emergency provision. The constitution stipulates three types of emergencies: national, state, and financial. So in times of emergency provision, the center get all powerful and they can snatch away all the power from the state itself. Then we have single citizenship. So everyone knows that to be an Indian citizenship, there is only single citizenship that is provides for both the center and the state. So there is no another kind of citizenship that has been given to people from another states. Everyone who is residing in India will be given only one citizenship. That is integrated judiciary is another features. The Indian Constitution has the integrated judiciary system with the Supreme Court on top of the state high courts below. So at top we have Supreme Court, then we have High Court, then we have District Court, Session Court. So all are in a given in a orderly manner. Then we have All India Services, which has been recruited by the central only. That is IS, IPS, or IFS. Then we have integrated audit machinery. The control and auditor of India audits the account of not only the central government but also those of the states. But this appointment removal is done by the president without consulting the states. So all the kind of important matter or the powers will be vested upon central only. Parliament's authority over state lists. So in case of any conflicts, all the lists that have been there, the parliament will prevail. Then we have appointment of governors. The governor with head of the state is appointed by the president. So every state has a governor who is a kind of messenger or is an agent. So next move towards integrated election machinery. The election commission conducts election not only to the central legislation but also to the state legislation. So there is one particular organ or one particular election commission which will conduct election both for central and states. Veto over state bills. The governor is empowered to reserve certain types of bill passed by the state legislature to the consideration of the president. So this is talks about the power of the governor along with the president. So this basically the whole concept of federal system or the whole chapter has been given in Indian Polity talks about the definition of federal, from where it came from, what are the federal features and what are the unitary features, and how India is different from that of the countries, what kind of model India follows. We follow Canadian model, and how we are flexible and why we are called quasi-federal in nature, because in some point the states have uh, equal or some kind of powers which makes it a federal, and in case of emergency or in case of other such scenarios the central becomes powerful, so that makes it a unitary kind of model. So it is a combination of both. That's why it is known as the quasi-federal system. So the best thing about Indian polity is with every chapter it comes with a criticism. So here again, as you can see, there are lots of particular person's name has been mentioned and their very statement regarding whether our system of constitutional system of government is federal in nature or unitary in nature. So I'm going to read 2-3 from this whole paragraph. Casey were an important name to remember. Describe the Constitution of India as quasi-federal. So while writing an answer, you can go with a statement by a particular person who is a famous figure. So which is very easy to remember or understand. You can write them down. As Casey Wade described the Constitution of India as quasi-federal because it has the combination of both of the features. Then according to K. Santhanam, the two factors have been responsible for increasing the unitary wise tendency of centralization of the constitution. As you can see, in some point it can be said that the center is more powerful in comparison to the states. If we talk about India, if we see the 7th schedule, if we see the emergency provisions, if we talk about the uh, capital or monetary thing or the governors. All kind of important factors are vested on the central only. Then we have Maurice Jones termed it as a bargaining federalism. Ivor Jennings has described it as a federation with a strong centralizing tendency. So some believes that the Constitution of India is federal in nature, some believes the Constitution of India is unitary in nature, some believes it is a combination of both. So based on the question whether it is asking to give your answer in favor of the Constitution of India is a unitary one, or whether the question is asking whether the Constitution of India is a federal one. So based on the question itself, we need to write our answer according to that particular frame. So in this video, we have talked about what federal system is. So again, a important case has been mentioned here, that is in Bombay case, which is a very important case for emergency provisions. So this is all about what federal system is. So hope you have enjoyed the video. Soon we'll be meeting with another such topic. Till then, do share, like and subscribe if you like the content. So see you then.